there are numerous things that we can control and numerous that we cannot. And the goal is to distinguish these things and really to focus on what we can control, what we can have an effect on. Hi, this is Noemi Seri. I am a retroactive jealousy specialist, and today I'm going to focus on basically what it is that you can control, one aspect that you can control when it comes to retroactive jealousy. And that is actually looking at what the possibilities, what the inherent opportunities are in retroactive jealousy. Whilst this is depending, so as with anything, it will be on a scale. And you might be at a lower scale, which means that sometimes you have this kind of, there might be flare ups, or you might be at a higher scale, in which case you're overwhelmed by all the intrusive thoughts about the past of your partner's past, about images, about flashbacks, about thoughts and feelings. And a lot of those things might not even have happened, but the mind has a way of generating things and bringing things out of proportion, basically. So when we might talk about the positive things of this, it could feel a little uncalled for, let's say. It might feel like something you might actually reject this thought. But what I'm saying is not to say that this is a good thing to live with, because obviously this is an issue that you want to solve. But sometimes before we even want to solve things, um, we need to look at what it is that we might need to accept about a situation and what it is that we might be able to change. Because, for instance, with retroactive jealousy, one of the things that seems to occur for a lot of people is trying to know more about the other person, about their uh, relationships, about their past, about how they thought about things, how they felt. Kind of, there's a lot of comparison, there's a lot of digging and thinking and ruminating about things. But if this attitude didn't solve the situation in the last 5 minutes, 10 minutes, months, years, then it's not going to be something that solves the situation in the next 5 minutes either, or even years, which is to say, you have tried a way of solving it uh, that has failed you. But if you're un unaware of other options, or if you feel so compelled to do these things that you feel that you have no control in the moment, so you obsessively need to do that, then it will feel that there is no other way. But there is. There is a lot of people have overcome retroactive jealousy, so it is something that is possible. And it definitely is possible to reduce the intensities as well. So, what you want to do potentially now to ask yourself, how is it that you look at this? What sort of opportunities there might be for you to learn from this situation? So, one simple thing would be that, wait a minute, I have been trying to do something. I have tried to do the same thing again and again, and it hasn't resulted in anything positive. If anything, it probably made your relationship worse. It might have been something that is a reoccurring pattern. So it might have ended relationships and then resurfaced in new relationships. So it might have become a pattern that is constantly there. So then the simplest thing to do is to say, if this doesn't work, what is it that I could do? And that might lead you to think about the internal world, which is the subjective world, which is what we can control. We can control how we think about things. We can control how we perceive things. We can control how and what sort of stories we create. Because very little about the world, about life is absolute. Um, we we are often wrong. We are often wrong about what we think about the other person, what even what we think about us, or the possibilities that we have. So really bringing in this sort of questioning attitude. So in this, from this perspective, retroactive jealousy could be a tremendous opportunity for growth, because it can bring you back to the things and reveal things that you can actually control, that you can learn to control and to be um, accountable for. To say yes, I don't need to react to. So if I have an intrusive thought about my partner's past, let's say they must have loved them more, or they were more accomplished, or whatever it might be. That's just a thought. A thought is not reality. A thought is just a thought. So so you might actually look at how you react to that thought. So you might even monitor your thinking, your thought patterns, a little bit like stepping back, so you can actually both think about something um, as well as listen to those thoughts, and bringing some, at least some sort of a form of objectivity, thinking about how is it that somebody else would, or if I were to hear these thoughts, uh, if they were to be my partner's thoughts, how would I think about them? What would I say? What would I think? Would I actually think that this is reality? Or would I try to help them? And how can you bring that attitude back to yourself and say, wait a minute, have I questioned these thoughts? Or have I taken them as absolute realities? So this is one of the things that you can do very simply. And one thing that might be even more helpful is to sit down and try to write it. Or you might even be able to create a little video about what you think, and then rewatch it once you're not in that mindset and say, who is this person? Is this how I think? Uh, do I recognize myself? I hope this is helpful. Thank you.